and we are very, keen to make the borough pro-growth, pro-investment, and we're working, in these past few years with a lot of developers to make Brent, this successful story and attract more people to the borough. At Wembley Housing Zone, we'll have a great community space. So I would like these spaces to be more open to different communities to come together. We're working closely in Brent on community cohesion as well. So we want different communities to come together where instead of them just being, quite separate, we want to create that community feeling as well. So I want, to see when development comes through, I want to see, how we can benefit the communities that live locally, not just, build homes, but what comes with that as well for the people that live locally. Community spaces are important. I don't know how achievable it is in one parliament. I think that's quite ambitious, but I think with the right attitude and with the political will, I think we can get there.
Hello, I'm Toby Fox from 1.5 Million New Homes, the local government challenge sponsored by Redloft and Mount Anvil. So each month we're visiting a different council to find out what works and what needs to change to get more homes built with the objective of getting to that 1.5 million new homes target. And this month we've come to the London Borough of Brent. Hello. Tell us who you are and where we are.
Hi, Toby. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Teo Benea. I'm the Cabinet Member for Regeneration, Planning and Property at Brent Council. And we're here at the Brent Civic Centre, hosting you in this amazing building that we have. That was given to the people in 2012. And we are in the Winter Garden area. So thank you so much for coming and speaking with us at Brent.
It's a real pleasure. Thanks for having us. And thanks for opening up the Winter Garden. What is this place normally used for?
It's usually used for events. So we have a big conference hall just behind me. So people can use the hall for events and then they can come here and socialize and we usually have events with food and buffets so people can socialize here a bit more informally on the Winter Garden.
Right. So this and the Civic Centre as a whole and Wembley Park as a whole is a sort of symbol of everything that's new about Brent. It's all been delivered in the last decade or so. So tell us a bit about what makes this place special. What makes the borough special? What drives it kind of economically? What's the point of Brent?
Yeah, Brent is probably, one of the most diverse boroughs in London. So we pride ourselves with having about 65% of the population from a Black, Asian or ethnic minority. So we pride ourselves in making the borough feeling very welcome for people that are coming here. Myself, I'm originally from Romania as well. So when I moved to Brent, I kind of felt, that atmosphere that Brent was bringing, people from different backgrounds felt that they had the opportunities here to make a good life, the jobs that they could apply for. And also, obviously, we have the Wembley Stadium and all the opportunities that are around the stadium. But, the borough as a whole is one of the most diverse in London. As I said, we have about 149 languages that are spoken in Brent. So we take a lot of pride in that. And you could see in the census in 2021, different communities are coming to Brent, new and emerging communities. We have a big Eastern European community as well. So we have a lot of diversity in Brent, which adds value to the place. And also, we attract young people and the talent to Brent. So, yeah, it's a great place to live, also to work and to raise a family as well. And we are very, keen to make the borough pro-growth, pro-investment, and we're working, in these past few years with a lot of developers to make Brent, this successful story and attract more people to the borough.
So what does that picture that you paint, how is that driven economically? What are the kind of jobs and industries and major employers here?
Yeah, we have, so tourism around, the stadium obviously is a big industry. We have construction, we have a lot of construction sites in Brent, and obviously a lot of developers are coming here and, building more, which is great. So the hospitality industry is huge. Obviously we have the Civic Centre, which attracts, young talent and people that want to work in administration. We have people in other sectors like younger people that want to start, a charity or work for non-for-profit organizations. We have those opportunities for them. I myself have set up a charity a couple of years ago as well. So there are opportunities for empowering people to start their own businesses as well. So yeah, it's a lot going on in Brent.
But is it fair to say that the main economic driver is the kind of connectivity into other parts of London?
Yeah, definitely. And, with the Wembley Park station, we are very well connected to Central London. You can get into Central London in about half an hour on the Met Line, Jubilee Line. We have the West London Orbital that hopefully will succeed as well. We are looking at supporting the upgrading of Bakerloo and the extension of Bakerloo. I was at UK Reef last week, asking about the benefits that it will bring to Brent as well as one of the key boroughs.
That's the property conference in Leeds in May.
Leeds, yeah. So there was an event about, the infrastructure, and obviously Bakerloo line is quite an old line that needs, that investment as well. And obviously it will bring a lot of benefits to Brent if the government is going to upgrade the line and also commit to the extension as well. We also have HS2. So I went on a site visit a couple of weeks with some colleagues at the Old Oak Common Station as well. So that's going to bring a lot of investment and hopefully, create those, opportunities job-wise, but also bringing new homes to the borough as well.
And you talked about a really diverse kind of community of people. So lots of young people, lots of immigrants, lots of people from different kind of ethnic backgrounds and so on. How does that translate into the need for housing and housing need?
Yeah, I think we can see some communities feel a bit more impacted by the lack of housing. So in some of, more deprived areas of the borough, there needs to definitely be more investment in the homes that we build. But we are trying to, be consistent across the borough in terms of who gets the housing. Obviously, unfortunately, we have long housing waiting lists in temporary accommodation. And this is across London, really. There is a housing crisis. So there are some communities that are probably more impacted than others based on where they live in the borough. But we are trying, with the investment and with the developers that are coming through, we're trying to uplift most of the areas in the borough so everyone has the same opportunities. Obviously, Wembley in itself is a hub, but we have to, take care of other parts of the borough which are, maybe struggling a bit as well.
And how big are those waiting lists?
We're looking at about 1,300 people on the waiting list as we speak. Obviously, those numbers go up and down all the time. So unfortunately, there have been people that have been for years on a waiting list. That's why, in Brent, we're so pro-growth and pro-development. We need to build these houses. And also, we have been exceeding our housing targets. But even then, it's not enough for the, the population that we have in Brent. So we need to be building way more than we are at the moment. So, that's why I was at the UK Reef last week speaking about, South Kilburn, Staples Corner master plan, trying to attract landowners and developers to work with us in partnership with the council to bring forward viable schemes so then we can build these homes that we so much need in Brent.
And if you got all the development and investment that you wanted, how many homes would you be delivering?
We're looking to deliver about 23,000 homes over the next few years. And hopefully with the right investment, with the right partnerships with developers, we will be able to do that.
That's really significant. I'm just going to cycle back a bit to what you were saying about the economy. So you mentioned Wembley. It's a big tourist destination, this as well.
Yes.
And that's a big economic driver for you. How difficult is it as a borough to kind of cater for that influx of people who then disappear again, while you've also got lots of people who are sort of established here and here all the time? What are the dynamics and the frictions that come out of that for you?
Yeah, obviously when we have event days at Wembley, we have to manage that quite carefully, not to upset the local resident that live locally, but at the same time, having the stadium here, having the people coming to Wembley is bringing a lot of, investment to the local area because a lot of local businesses, benefit from the people coming to Wembley. And also for us, it's, telling the successful story of Brent being open for business, being open for different communities. And yeah, it is a bit tricky on event days. I'm not going to lie. I live quite locally as well, so I know the impact. But I think people locally have come to a point where they understand, the benefits it brings. And we have, local residents that are given, sometimes concert tickets as well. So they have some benefits living locally as well. But I think, we have great teams of people that manage those events as best as we can. Obviously, we are giving residents quite a lot of notice before, so they know these events are happening. So we're working, closely together. But I think the local businesses around here benefit a lot from the stadium.
And local people get all these facilities, all these restaurants and bars and cafes and so on.
I mean, if you were in Wembley about 10, 15 years ago, a lot of these places that you see today weren't here. So obviously it
I'm old enough to say I was.
Yeah.
And you're right.
It uplifted the area a lot, and it attracted, more young people to Brent as well. And we can see that if you're walking in Brent, you see a lot of young people, you see people from different communities as well. And it's a nice, vibrant borough where people come together, which is great.
So you're a cabinet member. How did you get into local politics in the first place? What drove you into taking up this role?
Yeah, so probably best to say from the beginning, I'm obviously not originally from the UK. I'm from Romania originally. So I came to the UK in 2008 to study here and then work. And then I did a degree in politics and management in Scotland, actually, at the time. I was always passionate about politics. Politics in my country is a bit tricky. So when I came here, I decided, I wanted to join a political party. I started volunteering, and then I was an organizer for the party, worked for a member of parliament a few years ago, and then I decided I would like to also, be part of the decision-making process, and I decided to stand. In Brent, we have a large Eastern European community, as I mentioned previously, and I think there is still very much a lack of representation when it comes to different communities that live in Brent. So we have colleagues from different backgrounds, but I think there's still much more that we can do to encourage people from different backgrounds to stand. And I'm also a firm believer that we need more young people into politics as well. So yeah, I decided I'll give it a go and see what happens. I've been a cabinet member for 3 months, so I'm quite new in the role. I'm a councillor in Sudbury, not far away from here. So the first 2 years I've been focusing on doing, casework, engaging with the local community, learning about, the issues locally and what we had to do to address that. And 3 months ago, I joined cabinet. I used to work in planning before as well. So I have a background into, the planning process and the public consultations that need to happen before planning applications are submitted. So I understand a bit this world. I used to work for a public affairs company before in this field. So I guess that's why, the leader of the council asked me if I would like to join cabinet, because I have a background in this as well.
And so your main driver in going into local politics was representation of your community in Brent. And how does that reflect in what you'd like to see happening to the built environment, to places like Wembley Park, and you mentioned Staples Corner and the other growth zones in Wembley?
Yeah, I think we need to be more. We need to speak more about the success stories we have in Brent and all the great spaces that we have available for different communities. Sometimes, we have at Wembley housing zones. We'll have a great community space. So I would like these spaces to be more open to different communities to come together. We're working closely in Brent on community cohesion as well. So we want different communities to come together instead of them just being, quite separate. We want to create that community feeling as well. So I want, to see when development comes through, I want to see, how we can benefit the communities that live locally, not just, build homes, but what comes with that as well for the people that live locally. Community spaces are important. So yeah, I hope that, Brent, I think it's a successful story when it comes to different communities, working together. And I would like that to continue. And I think, if we create the right spaces for these discussions and events to happen, I think it will enhance the borough.
In an ideal world, all other things being equal, and what would you like to see have happened by the time your term comes to an end?
Yeah, it's very hard to say in politics because obviously we work based on a 4-year term. I would like to see, communities thriving. I would like to see more young people coming to Brent. I would like to see more families having a good life in Brent because I think, we are building a lot of affordable homes at the moment, which is, something that I'm very passionate about. London, unfortunately, has become quite expensive in recent years, so having that affordability and saying to families, you can come to Brent to raise your family and, we want you there and we need to support you to be able to do that. So I definitely want us to, as we've done so far, exceed our housing targets. I would like everyone that wants to stay in Brent to be able to stay in Brent. I wouldn't want us to be in a position where we have to send people to other parts of London or even outside London. To create opportunities for everyone.
Okay.
It's a challenge, but I think with the right collaboration with the Mayor of London, with the current government, I think there is potential to achieve that.
Okay, so here's the $50 million question, the 1.5 million houses question. Can we get 1.5 million new homes built, and can we get that done in this Parliament?
I think it's an ambitious target. I'm not going to lie. It's very ambitious. I think if locally we're working closely with the government, if the funding will become available, we have good relationships with the GLA and with the Mayor of London. They've been supporting more, affordable homes being built across London. I think we can make that. I don't know how achievable it is in one Parliament. I think that's quite ambitious, but I think with the right attitude and with the political will, I think we can get there.
And if one thing were to change tomorrow to make that more likely, what should it be?
Definitely more funding opportunities.
What do you mean by funding? What funding and for what?
I think in recent years, local government and local authorities have been struggling a lot financially, obviously with all the cuts that came to public services. So I think we definitely need more investment. If that investment comes through, I think, and also working with the right developers on different schemes to, as you mentioned before, make them viable because, inflation and a lot of issues after Brexit and after the pandemic are playing a part in the industry. So I think if we have that clear vision from the government, the funding there and working together with developers, I think we can get there.
Councillor, thank you very much for your role in getting 1.5 million homes built.
Thank you so much, Toby, for having me. Thank you.
So that's it for another episode of 1.5 million new homes, the local government challenge, sponsored by Redloft and Mount Anvil. And we're going to be back in a few days with more from Brent. But until then, if you could hit like and subscribe, we'd be really grateful. And we'll look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks very much for watching.